Hello, my name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. Today we want to touch the topic of culture wars. And with me is Ludwika Lipowiecka, a Polish student from UK. Thank you very much for coming.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
What I want to start is with the element of religion in UK. You lived there more than 6 years. You've seen a lot of things. I would say you grew up there as a mature person, there you kind of shaped your point of view of a lot of things. And what is obviously striking is the fact that in UK there is less and less people who attend churches, and even talking about religion becomes very personal, but also becomes a little bit like vulgar or inadequate or not elegant, that you say that you do the prayers or anything like this. And of course, a lot of churches are changing. The buildings are changed for cafes, discos, or even other places. What do you have to say about it?
Yes, I absolutely agree with most of what you said, but we have to precise what religion this applies to. It doesn't apply to every religion. It, of course, applies to Christianity, which, if it's not a certain embarrassment to talk about you praying, being committed to it, then it's certainly being heavily mocked. Even if it's fine that you're religious, you'll be looked down onto as a less intelligent person, with maybe still developing your views, give it a few more years, you'll grow out of it, get some education, you'll grow out of it.
Exactly, so it shows it's not a difference of values, but it is presented as a difference of knowledge, as a difference of maturity. And that's a huge change, because in fact you're not really tolerant for the other person, and even if you're yourself not religious, but you're basically looking down at this person saying you don't know enough, you're not well educated enough, that's why you go and you do those crazy things as praying or you attend mass. But if you just were a little bit more sophisticated, you wouldn't go.
Absolutely. And very often you will hear people trying to be polite to you because they are so open-minded and they're so kind, and they'll tell you, oh, you're Catholic, you're Christian. I fully respect that, honestly. And after the but comes many things. But I believe all religion is evil. But I believe that your views are backwards, and so on and so on. So even though that they try to portray themselves as these people who are extremely tolerant towards your faith, at the same time, they will absolutely belittle you. And it is a big problem, and it occurs everywhere. I'm not talking only hanging out in the pub with your friends. I'm talking you can go to the general practice doctor's office, and they will tell you that, for example, your fears, your concerns about taking the anti-conception pill, your health concerns, they say they come from your Catholic faith. It's just church hating on it. You are absolutely brainwashed. You have no reason to be concerned about it.
Wow, so that goes far, even from the
very far.
medical sense, because there are a lot of things against the pill which are, I would say, they have a strong medical background, because after all, it manipulates your hormones, and not everyone needs to accept it. And I mean, this element of absolute sexual openness in UK, especially experienced by teenagers and young adults, which accepts, I would say, an open sexuality in everything, in every single aspect, in every single, I would say, module, and this element of jungle drinking. It's much more socially accepted that you go to a pub on Friday night and got yourself totally drunk and then sleep with a random man than you go to church and pray, and or you go to a gathering, like a young gathering of a gathering, like a faith group or something like this. Of course, a Christian group.
Yes, I agree. It is a strongly hedonistic culture, which comes out of maybe lack of religion, lack of God, that emptiness that people need to fill out. I don't believe that this space can stay empty. People search everywhere. This can be either turning to Buddhism or yoga, so popular these days, or this can be turning into the woke culture, which is kind of a religion in these days. And under this concept of this wokeism will be the hookup culture, which you mentioned, and a very hedonistic style of life, with no boundaries. Everything is fine as long as you're happy. Whatever makes you happy is great, serves you right.
Which is, after all, a little bit crazy.
It is.
Looking at the perspective, looking also at the values and people and tradition which built UK and built Great Britain from many aspects, and many philosophers and religious people, and who were there, who are right now neglected and not seen. I have, especially for this moment, a quote from Terry Ingleton, a British neo-Marxist philosopher who was announced one of the most sexy thinker or philosopher, and they even said, it was written, that if Terry Ingleton didn't exist, then we should invent him. That's how important he is. And he writes that the phrase culture wars suggests pitched battles between populist and elites, custodian of the canon and devotees of difference, dead wild males and the unjustly marginalized. The clash between culture and culture, however, is no longer simply a battle of definition, but a global conflict. It is a matter of actual politics, not just academics ones. And we'll put a point here and continue and open up a discussion about the academic world in the next episode. So stay with us, and thank you very much for watching Berlin Daily Culture.